Hey guys, welcome to the Middle of the Story podcast. I am so excited for you guys to join us today for a really sweet and special episode. I am here with my friend Madison, and we are going to talk about God meeting us in the middle of adoption. And I just love this girl so much, and I'm so excited to get into this. Thank you for being here. so excited. I start every episode the same way. You don't have to get into the nitty gritty, or do, wherever the Holy Spirit leads you. What's your story? What's your testimony? Yeah. How did you say yes to Jesus? Give us the deets.
I remember stories of Jesus and who he is being a part of my life forever, really. I grew up in a family that took me to church from a young age, and I have two older brothers, like 8 and 10 years older than me, so they were in really different seasons of life, like pursuing football and crew and all the things. Yeah. And I'm just a little 6-year-old who wants to go to VBS and church. So I remember asking my mom and dad to drop me off, even when the family was doing other things. Yeah. So I kind of always had this little pull to want to keep hearing these stories, singing these songs, doing the things, even when maybe it wasn't what my family was really digging into at the same time as me. And we went to a Methodist church, so we had like an 8th grade confirmation class. Yeah. I remember the story of the crucifixion hitting home to me in a different way. Yeah. And that kind of being a pivoting point of me being like, I think I want to live my life for Jesus and be all in on this. Yeah. And then that 8th grade year was just a really big year for me. I was switching from the school I had always gone to, which was an all-girls school from 1st to 8th grade. And then I was going to the public school in our community, which is a great school and was bound to be a smooth transition, but it was just inherently different. I mean, I had been at school with all girls and then now co-ed and all the pressures of that and trying to fit in and
probably bigger, bigger school.
Oh yeah, like 400 people versus my little class of 60. Yeah. And I was like, how am I going to meet people? And our family friends hosted Young Life at their house, and my mom was like, well, maybe go to Young Life Club. Like, I don't even know that she knew much about it. She was just like, go, the family, you'll feel comfortable at their house. Yeah. And so I went, I loved it. I was just kind of involved in Young Life, like freshman, sophomore year, but still just trying to like find my way, find my footing, find my friend group, that kind of thing. And junior year of high school was the first year I went to Young Life Camp. Yeah. And those leaders are so great at pursuing you and just knowing that getting you to camp will be an experience that you're bound to encounter Jesus. So looking back, I can see why they wanted me there so bad. But I remember sitting there in a club talk and they're talking about this backpack analogy, fill in your backpack with all these rocks, all the things of like good grades, sports, looks, popularity, all these things, and how Jesus wants to take that whole backpack from you. Yeah. And that was so inviting to me. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I think I want this. And they really casted vision for our class specifically because there was just a good group of girls and guys that were all involved in Young Life at the time. And Sam, my husband, was actually at camp with me. He was a part of the guys group of that all of these Young Life leaders were just casting vision for us of what our senior year could look like if we were really on fire for Jesus and if we started loving the freshmen and introducing them to Jesus. And that was just something that I really wanted to be a part of. And so did my friends. And we just had I think 16 guys and girls that were just like all in. We're like, this is it. And that just changed the trajectory of my walk with the Lord, and it really didn't slow down after that. Yeah. So, and that was a huge part of Sam and I's story. I mean, in that group of 16 or so many people were dating. So, and
is that just a little Christian dream of oh my gosh.
Exactly. And it's senior year, everybody's asking each other to homecoming and whatnot, and Sam and I go to to this dance together by default. Like, it's not even like, I want to go with her. It's literally just like, well, everybody else is going, let's go.
Yeah.
And, like, some of the friends that were dating, they've all broken up. But Sam and I are, here we are, still married, and 2 kids later in adoption.
Yes. Okay, so, and I know, like, we could have, like, another episode of, like, college to now and that journey. And obviously so much life has happened. But I just specifically want to spend time today just kind of, like, digging into adoption and that story. So I don't want people to feel like, or you to be like, well, there was so much life before that. Yes, I totally acknowledge that. And everyone should know she's lived a lot of life between seeing that moment in senior year to now. But when did God start, like, opening your heart, maybe giving you a grace for or eyes for adoption?
Yeah. So I feel like it's good that I mentioned Sam because he's a huge part of this. And he has a lot more stories of adoption in his family. Like, his uncle, who's one of the biggest influences in his life, was adopted. But you wouldn't know it. Like, he doesn't just, like, come out with that all the time.
Yeah.
And he has another uncle who's adopted 2 kids, and another uncle that's adopted 2 kids. There's just, like, way more stories of adoption on his side of the family. And of course, when you're dating and you're just, like, meeting the whole family tree, you're, like, learning all these stories. And that always, like, kind of just piqued my interest a little bit because my side of the family does not have any stories of adoption.
Yeah.
So I felt like I was always intrigued by that. And then, of course, Sam and I dating in high school and in college, like, you're just talking about family and do you want to have kids and what will that look like and that kind of thing. And just through a decade of dating, it just came up like a few different times.
Yeah.
And we were both just like, it never felt like it was like, this is God's great call on our lives of, like, you are called to adopt, this is what you'll do. But it was just like this small little stirring, and small yeses has just been the theme throughout this. And we had McLean. So McLean will be 4 in July. And she was about 18 months when we started the adoption journey. And I'd say 6 months prior to that, I had just started calling everyone I knew who had adopted. And I was like, can you just tell me your story? Because I heard that everyone's was different. I mean, of course it is. They're all different children. It's like a life that you're talking about. So, like, their story is going to be totally different.
Totally.
So I just tried to, like, learn as much as I could. And through hearing all of those stories, I was like, I want that. I want that. I want that. And a big part of it was, like, I kept thinking about McLean. And I kept thinking about, like, the generations of impact that this would have, like, seeing how it's just, like, so ingrained in Sam's family. And I was like, I kind of want that too. Like, I want to keep paving the way. And I could just picture McLean being like, my sister's adopted, and this just being part of our story. And I don't even really know why, but that just intrigued me. And knowing how much it would impact my family too, like my mom and dad, my brothers, my cousins, my nephews, just seeing this call that God was placing on our lives to impact them, I knew that God was going to do something with that. And he is. And so that's kind of what led us to starting the process.
That's so good. So you're literally, this is called the Middle of the Story podcast. You are literally in the middle. Can you talk about, like, where you're at in it? Like, where are we in the process?
So we've been in the process for 2.5 years. We're in the international adoption process. So domestic and adoption, and even foster to adopt, embryo adoption. I mean, there's, like, so many options.
Totally.
And, like, even that, making the decision took alignment, and, like, by the grace of God, Sam and I were just, like, on the same page. Like, we started this process 2.5 years ago, and I can remember we started working with a social worker that was kind of referred to us by a friend, and everything was just, like, the next step. Like, we'd never had this grand vision of, like, it will be international adoption, it will be Ivory Coast in West Africa, it will be a girl, like, all these things. Like, had none of that planned. It was just kind of like, okay, let's do this step first, next step. And we started this process, like doing this massive checklist. They have you print off like 13 pages, and it's like talking about what type of medical conditions you're okay with, like cerebral palsy, HIV, drug and alcohol exposure, all these things. And Sam and I are just like going through, literally looking things up because we're like, I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
And something that was kind of assuring to me throughout the process of asking all those friends their stories, like I felt judgmental filling out that checklist. I was like, if I'm saying yes to adoption, shouldn't I just say, be open to whatever God has for us? Like, shouldn't I just, sure, if this child has a wheelchair, shouldn't I just be okay with that? And another mom was like, you can totally have wisdom and seek wisdom and ask the Lord for guidance when you're filling out these checklists and like when you're saying yes to what type of medical conditions you're going to be okay with, because maybe you can't reconstruct your home right now and put a ramp in, but maybe that is what God's asking you to do. So Sam and I are sitting there filling all of this out, and we just had alignment the whole way, and we kind of got down to like this place of, okay, are we going to do domestic adoption or international? And someone had told us that for domestic right now, you'd have to present to like 30 to 50 moms just before you get a match. And I didn't know if my heart could take that. And I mean, props to all of the people that are in that, because that timeline, like this is so much silent waiting. That's a lot of like active, like stop, go type mentality. This just feels like so long and strung out.
Yeah.
So it's just hard in different ways. But Sam and I were like, both, international adoption, check, here we go. And that's just kind of where we started. And our social worker that we were working with gave us a referral to an agency that they had worked with before. And I said, we've had people who had good experiences with this agency. Go talk to them. So we talked to them, and they had like 8 different international programs, and every international program is going to have different requirements of the parents. Like sometimes you have to be married for 10 years. Sometimes they're like, you're going to have to live in country for a year. Like if you adopted from Uganda, they'd be like, you got to live there for a year. And Sam and I are like, whoa, right now we have an 18-month-old. I don't know if we can do that.
Yeah.
And so out of these 8 countries, Ivory Coast just kind of piqued our interest. We felt like we could meet all the requirements that the central authority was asking of us. They claimed to have children that were available younger than 3, and that was kind of what we were looking for. We were okay with boy or girl.
Yeah.
Ideally, we wanted to keep McLean the oldest. We wanted to have more biological children, and then we didn't really care like how it fell in the mix.
Yeah.
And then where we're at today, 2.5 years later, I mean, 2 or 3 months into the adoption process, found out I was pregnant with Tatum, which
I remember.
All of that was like, I mean, it wasn't even like this big surprise. Like sometimes people are like, start the adoption process and you get pregnant. It's like this known like theme, and people will talk about how like, when you're trying to get pregnant and then you just have to get your mind off of it, all those things people say. Yes. And
our favorite comments.
Exactly. Love that. And that wasn't the story for us at all. Like we were trying, and we were okay with both.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like, okay, I'm going to totally pursue adoption, and if we get pregnant, this will be like a massive surprise.
Yeah.
No. So Tatum was an answered prayer in her own right.
I know.
So McLean and Tatum are like about 2.5 years apart, and Frankie is the little girl we're adopting. And she just turned 2 in April, and she will fall right in the mix. She'll just be in the middle.
I can't even handle. So the girls will be 4, 2.5, and 2.
Yeah,
basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Lots of squealing around this house.
It's going to be so girly. Yes. Okay. So, and I love it. And I've known about Frankie and love her and have been praying for her since the girls were in dance. Yeah. Like, I think that's like right when you got matched. Yeah. When did you get matched with Frankie?
So it was probably, I guess we had been in that process for a year of just like home study stuff, paperwork, all the things. And it was April of 25, I guess, March or April of 25.
Yes.
That we first saw pictures of her, because all these families in this program were matched with children, and in international adoption, they make you do this like big book about your life called a dossier. And we were just, following each step. We don't really know what we're doing. We're just like, this is the checklist that we're following. Yeah. And we were told that you submit your dossier to the country, and then based on that 13-page checklist of like yes, no, maybe of health conditions you say yes to, you're putting your life in the fate of this central authority, and they're going to match you or present you with a child that meets the criteria that you have set. So that's what Sam and I were expecting for like probably a year. And then we started getting closer to all the families that were in our Ivory Coast program too. And we're like, how'd you get matched with Eden or Judith? And they're like, the waiting child's list. And we're like, what? What is this waiting child's list? Like, you're just telling me there's this list of available babies? Like, what is that even? It just felt wrong to even, like, say out loud.
Yeah.
And we started asking our agency about this, and they were like, oh, yeah. And the first agency that we were with got decredentialed in the middle, which that was like, I mean, just this, fork in the road that you're like, what do I even do? Yes. So at this point, we're with our new agency. So you're just kind of like building a relationship with them anyways. And I'm like, can you show me the waiting child's list? And they're kind of like, who are you? What do you want? And so sure enough, they show us this list, and there's like 5 kids that are available. And Frankie, who we were first introduced to as Amora, so the agencies will just kind of put like a marketing name on the child just to like protect them and their story a little bit until you're further in the process, and then they'll divulge more details about the child. And so she was just precious. I mean, at that point she was a year old, maybe 11 months, and she was in this cute little yellow dress and just like kind of waddling around, and these big eyes like saucers and just the most precious little lips. And like, we have to know more. We just have to learn more about her. And an interesting fact about that first, like, one-pager that we got on her was, like, they think she has Down syndrome.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, well, we'll just learn more or whatever. Everything was just, like, a small little, let's learn more. Let's figure out what this is, and just keep pulse checking with God. Like, is this where you want us? Is this not? And our agency director was going over to Ivory Coast and met her, and she was like, I am not medical at all, but I don't think this girl has Down syndrome. And we send some videos to our friend who's a pediatrician, and he's like talking about some like lines on your hands or something that can indicate like the trisomy gene and whatnot. He's like, I'm not seeing that. He's like zooming in on videos of her. And so we ordered genetic testing on her, all knowing that like one way or another, a yes or no on that claim of if she has Down syndrome was not going to be make it or break it to us. We just needed to know more information. So we order this genetic testing, and comes back all clear, like clean bill of health, which just shows so much about this process and how they'll just kind of like slap stories or titles or labels on these kids.
Babies.
Yeah. Who... it's not setting them up for a fair chance at all for maybe a family who's like, I definitely cannot take on special needs. I can't do this. Like, they totally would have overlooked Frankie.
Yeah.
And we're glad we didn't.
Yeah.
And, so it was about, a year and a half now of knowing about her.
Yeah. And calling her, like, y'all call her, this is our daughter.
Yeah.
And, like, McLean knows, like, this is my sister.
Yeah.
How does that feel? Like, being like, I have 3 children. Like, if someone met you, you'd be like, I have 3 girls. Like, how does that ownership feel and you haven't even held her.
Yeah, I think about this a lot because it comes out all the time. And, like, I kind of felt insecure about it sometimes. Like, I'd be like, well, I have 2 girls and we're adopting.
Yeah.
But also felt wrong to not say that.
Yeah.
Like, it's a huge part of our lives. Like, it often feels like a full-time job. Just the amount of paperwork and all that you're doing. And then I told a friend, I was like, I kind of feel weird that I'm saying that to people, like, every time I meet them, or it's just, like, coming up, like, yeah, McLean and Tatum, and we're adopted. Like, am I just throwing that in there to just have a story? And she was like, no, I mean, if you were pregnant, you'd probably be saying, like, I'm expecting.
Yeah.
You know? And then it just changed gears for me a little bit. And I was like, no, it is a huge part of our story. It is a huge part of our day-to-day life. Like, where our hearts and minds are at, what we're praying for all the time, what we need prayer for. So it just has become easier and easier now to just be like, yeah, this is our life. And I mean, with McLean now almost being 4, sometimes it'll come up for her. Like, I think we had a parent-teacher conference or something, and the teacher's like, she's talking about somebody named Frankie. I'm like, Frankie? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, Frankie's our adoptive daughter, you know. So, like, just even hearing her start to bring it up is so precious. And she'll say things like, well, Frankie's car seat can go here, or Frankie can sleep in my bed. And just the little ways that she starts to envision what it will look like to have her in our house is precious.
Oh, so sweet.
Yeah.
What has been, like, obviously I have, like, more of, like, an inside view of the updates and just our conversations and things like that, but what is something, like, you're comfortable sharing, like, what that's been really hard that nobody sees?
Yeah.
Like, maybe where's God meeting you, like, in the closet when you cry? Like, where are the hard moments that people don't know? Because they just see, like, oh my gosh, we're adopting, and she's so cute, and it's so, you want to cheer it on.
Yeah.
But where are you hurting right now, or where is it hard?
Yeah. I think that's the long wait. I mean, someone can look at that and maybe say, oh, that's got to be hard, like, waiting so long. But, like, as the mom, your thoughts are, like, all these things I'm missing. And especially having McLean and Tatum, I know what it's like from infancy to toddlerhood. So far, I don't really know beyond toddlerhood. But, like,
girl.
All those little phases of development that I'm like, I'm missing of my child's life. And it just depends how you're looking at it. I mean, some days you can be like, oh, well, majority of her life will be in our house, and that's great. But I still get really sad about that. And I can also get anxious about that. I can think about, well, what could be happening at the orphanage? Like, what could she be exposed to? Or what would it look like if she were home earlier? What could we, like, prevent developmentally? Like, your mind just kind of spirals into these unhealthy places that you're like, you're trying to control. Like, okay, if she were in my house, then I could control these things about her upbringing. And, like, the fact is that, like, none of that is true. Yeah. We're just not in control of our child's life at all, whether they're here in our home or whether they're in an orphanage in Ivory Coast. Like, you know, Frankie is God's child first and foremost, and then by the grace of God, Sam and I's. And, like, whether she's home or in an orphanage in Ivory Coast, like, she's under God's protection either way. So I feel like when I'm sad and spiraling, I just have to surrender back to the fact that, like, God, you've not missed a day of her life. You are there with her before I can be. And you're preparing her heart to enter our home and preparing all of our hearts to receive her too. And that's going to be a whole intermingling too.
Yeah, a process for sure.
Yes.
Has there been any moments while you're walking this out that you genuinely, like, didn't know if God was in it? And, like, have you ever, like, you talked about pulse checking, have you had to come to moments with him of, like, am I driving this or are you driving this, God? Like, what has there been moments of doubt?
Yeah, I feel like God has shown up in every small little yes that I feel like I haven't wondered, are you still in this? But he's not been in it the way that I thought at all.
Wow.
Like, I'm praying more specific prayers right now than I ever have. And he's really not answering them to the specificity that I am. Yeah. And that is really hard. Like, I'm praying like specific dates. Like, I wanted to be in Ivory Coast right now. Like this particular week.
I know.
And the court hearings, the dates of those, like, I've been praying specific dates. I've been fasting. I've been waking up in the middle of the night to pray at the given time of the court hearing. And, like, I don't see God answering on the timeline that I am projecting on him.
Yeah.
And that has been where I've been like, God, where are you? And then he'll be like, well, I've shown up here, here, and here, and here. But that wasn't exactly what you were asking for. But, you know, these are still the areas where I'm paving this path. And here's the one that you're paving. Like, maybe it's slightly parallel sometimes.
Yeah.
But I feel like that has been the biggest point of doubt. Because I hear all the time, like, you're a God of the details. You see all the details. And frankly, like, I don't know that I've seen God in all of the little details. And that is where I'm asking God to be merciful to me, like, in hindsight. Like, years down the road, will you show me where you were at in all of these details? Why it took 2.5, 3.5, however long it's going to take years to get her home. Like, and I'm not promised that or owed that.
Yeah.
But those are just where my prayers are at. And I'm like, can you maybe give me a glimpse of why you didn't answer on that timeline or do it when I wanted you to?
Yes, and we probably will. I feel like hindsight's always 20/20, and I think but I think that that's like just a real thing that we all walk through, are those seasons of waiting where whether it's adoption or getting pregnant or getting married or waiting for a job. I mean, I just think that so many people can resonate with that, because waiting and details and God left or right or backwards or forwards is something that everybody is going to walk through. And it's really tiring and can be like an emotional load, but it's quite often like the backpack, like having to give God our backpack of rocks and being like, these are all the things that I wanted, and this is everything that I expect of you, but I don't know if I'm right, and I need you to take the backpack and you have the map. And but it's so hard. Yeah. Do you ever feel lonely?
Yeah, I feel like people in our lives have the best intentions of caring about all the details, but it's just too detailed to even try to keep up. So sometimes people will try to ask, like, you know, what's the latest? What's the update? And, like, some days that's easy to answer and some days that's hard. So that's where that loneliness feeling kind of comes into play. And I've heard the same be said of, like, a health diagnosis. You know, like, some days you want to be asked about it and, like, how's treatment going, or any progress, has the miracle happened? And, like, adoption wise, I think in the tangible way, somebody might lovingly ask us, like, well, when are you going to bring her home? And we just don't know. Yeah. Like, we literally don't know. So that in itself can feel lonely, or almost like you're telling a lie. You're like, I'm telling somebody my projected timeline. Right. Of, like, well, I want to get her home by Christmas, and that's probably not going to happen. So I feel like being honest in the adoption story is hard, and it's not like a answer with a bow ever. Yeah. Yeah. True. Does it help that you do have people in your community, because you're a part of an incredible ministry called Love One International? Mm-hmm. Is it helpful to have people that have adopted around you? Yeah. And some of them have adopted internationally? Yeah. Is it both? People have done both? Yeah. Yes? Okay. For sure. Is that helpful to, like, have other, like, moms around you that can be like,
just keep walking.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Yeah. I feel like having a phone a friend of somebody who's been in this before.
Yeah.
Like Suzanne Mayernick, the founder of Love One, like a friend of mine, and has adopted 4 children.
Yeah.
And just, I mean, sending her pictures of being like, I never thought I'd have to have 6 copies notarized of blah, 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 and just laughing about it. Like, she has met me with laughter every time. Or like being frustrated over the government officials or our agency director or what have you. And like, just somebody to laugh with. Like, it was, they went on vacation and, it's time for that person to retire. Or like just being able to be lighthearted about a situation that you feel so frustrated about, but can't even begin to try to educate somebody on the whole thing. Because that's exhausting too.
It's so exhausting. So I can't imagine.
Yes.
I cannot imagine. How, now you and Sam have known each other since you were teenagers. Now we're all in our 30s.
Yeah.
How has it affected like marriage? Y'all are so blessed that you've both been on the same page for it. Because I do know some couples, like maybe one spouse will be more of the driver of it than the other. I feel like you guys kind of both were like walking hand in hand in it.
Yeah.
But how has it affected marriage? Like, what is it asked of both of you, and how have y'all met each other in the middle of that?
Yeah. I feel like having known each other for decades now, it's like we've seen all these little versions of each other, and that's beautiful, and that's going to happen in marriage by the grace of God anyways.
Yeah.
But we've really grown up together spiritually too. I mean, even talking about how we went to that Young Life camp together, and that was like a big jumping off point for us and like living our lives for Christ. I feel like this is a point in our life that we've never prayed as big and bold and hard as we have. Like, I mean, both of us shedding tears over this, both of us longing for her specifically, like having a common goal in all of it and just being so unified. Like, I've heard those stories too of people like, one person in the marriage like leading, we should adopt or whatever. Or we should move. It doesn't have to be adoption. It could be anything. But like for adoption, this is from the mouth of Madison, but I would not do it if you are not aligned. Like, it's not trendy. It's not cute. It is not something to just do to be this cute, like, multiracial family. And maybe that's not even your story, but for us, that will be. And that's some real conversations I've had with people too. And those hard conversations are where Sam and I get to come undone too, because like we just get to expose our hearts to one another of like, that is not what this is about at all. This like is not fun. I would never willingly sign up for this. Like it's just heartache. Like you're kind of signing yourself up for heartache. So much paperwork. Like I definitely took on another full-time job.
Literally.
But it will be worth it. And like in marriage, there's some times where one person's going to encourage someone when they're down and it'll keep ebbing and flowing. And that's been true in adoption too. Like there will be times where I don't feel like we've doubted the process, but again, like doubting that timeline. And Sam has been so faithful in just saying, God's always been pushing this forward. Like even when our first agency got decredentialed, and there's no other stateside agency that's facilitating adoptions between the States and Ivory Coast. So there's like 12 families that are like, what do we do? Yeah. Like we're literally in the middle and we're stuck. Yeah. Or like finances. Like adoption is crazy expensive. And you're like, how the heck am I going to afford this? Yeah. And God has provided tenfold in that. And just like he's pushed this thing along the whole time. And when I doubt that timeline and when I'm feeling lonely and I'm crying in the closet of like, God, I was asking you for June 6th and it didn't happen. And Sam's just like even keeled like he is, and
Yeah.
I need that. And he's like, God's been moving it along the whole time. He's going to keep doing that.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, okay. And other times I'm like, you're right.
I know. I just keep saying, like, I can't imagine. And I love y'all's story because I have seen you guys be on the same page the whole time. There wasn't like you felt it and then he kind of came along, or he was like, this is my family thing, this is what we do, and you were like, I don't know, like I feel like you both just, but I do feel like there can be those moments of like, we are adopting, and a lot of like show.
Yep.
And I feel like you guys have just kind of been like so casual about it, like, this is what we're doing. Like, there wasn't, it's not like a big event. I feel like she's just been a part of your family. Yeah. Like, it's not like, look at what we're doing. It's just kind of like, do you want to come pray with us? This is what we're doing. Yeah. Does that make sense? I feel like you guys have just like very, not casually in a bad way, but just, but you haven't made it about yourselves.
Thank you.
You've made it about like, this is our family.
Right.
And like you said, like, I don't think you guys could have done this as gracefully and as like peacefully if you were stiff arming it. Like, I feel like you guys have both been like, this is what God called us to do, and we're just like taking each step and like forward and backwards. Like we're just taking each step with the Holy Spirit, and that's been so inspiring to watch. What do you wish people would stop saying? Like, if you could give people like a little, like, here's a 5-point conversation on how to talk to people who are adopting. What do you wish people didn't say or would stop saying?
I feel like, and I don't want to like shame anyone for having said this.
No, this is all in love and encouragement.
Exactly. But the most common thing that you'll hear is like that Frankie is so blessed to be a part of your family. And like, I don't mean to just respond to that with a cliche of like, no, we're the ones that are blessed.
Yeah.
But like, she has trauma from the start.
Yeah.
That is her story to share. Mm-hmm. And I mean, she has been at this orphanage since her second day of life. And there's this like gaping wound in her heart that like her whole life she's going to be searching to find. And like, we pray for her mom and we pray for her dad all the time while we pray for her. And I just think that that's probably the biggest thing that I would say, like, is just a filler. Because you don't really know what to say. You don't know whether you say, like, congratulations. It's like there's not really a right thing to say. So I don't feel like I have a thing to, like, point people to, like, say this instead. Like, maybe just keep asking questions instead of a filler statement.
Yeah.
But, like, I guess it's true. Yeah, Frankie will be blessed by being in our family, and so will we. We will be blessed by her, but, like, you can't neglect the fact that, like, this isn't a rescue mission by us. We're not just, like, plucking her out of this orphanage, and then she gets to be in this, like, happy, perfect, wonderful home, because that's not true. Our home is not happy, perfect, wonderful. And she has this own story that God is writing for her that's going to be something that only she can walk through. And I'm going to do my darndest to be right alongside of her as her adoptive mother, and like whatever she wants to do and trying to figure out that story, I'll be there for her. But I think that statement can just rub me the wrong way sometimes, because I'm like, yeah, but you don't know her story.
Yeah. Do you feel like your mom heart just like aches when people say that, and you're like, okay, let's not do like the white people savior complex. Like, it's just like, that's my kid, and like she's already been through so much. Do you feel like it's like that mom ache of like, you kind of seem misinformed?
Yes. Exactly.
What would you tell someone that's like looking into adoption? Like, what would you tell the mom and dad that are like, I think we want to do this, and maybe you are concerned that it's like a cutie thing or whatever? Like, what would you say?
I would do what we did in those 6 months prior to like doing our home study of calling anyone you know who has adopted. You can call me, and just hearing their story and just because everyone is different.
Yeah.
There are so many ups and downs and things I've already forgotten that have happened.
Yeah.
That I'm like, oh, that made me so mad that day when that didn't come through or that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And then like now we're just literally waiting for a court hearing happening today to give us permission to go meet her for the first time. So it's like there will be things that will end up being, you know, all those ripples will kind of level out. But try to hear as many stories as you can and just pray through it. And at least for us, like, it was never this big revelation. We didn't see Frankie and say, that's our child. We didn't sign up with our social worker and be like, this is what it's going to look like. It was just always the small little yes. And we've had something more to fight for along the way, like as we've seen her face and as we've learned more about her. And that's like where this passion has come from and where I'm like angry that God's not on the timeline that I'm putting forth. Because I'm like, well, you already showed me her.
Yeah.
Like, well, let's get her home now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So just hear as many stories as you can, but also don't let fear get in your way. Like if you feel like this is something God has on your heart, talk about it with your spouse. Like, make sure you're on the same page. Pray through it with your spouse. Like, I've heard that from a few friends, too, of, like, someone being like, I kind of feel like this is what I want to do, but I'm scared what he's going to say. And I'm like, well, start there. At least start talking about it.
Yeah.
And, like, maybe actually hear what he has to say. Because there were definitely moments, like, even though Sam and I had talked about it, like, it's a big jump to sign that paper and to be like, here we go.
Yeah.
And I feel like I was probably nervous at different times too of like, Sam, is this the time? Should we do this now? But just small little yeses along the way.
Is there something that you wish you could see different in the American church as far as like adoption goes? Like, do you wish more churches talked about it? How's your heart burning like within? Because we live in, like, you look at where Frankie lives.
Yeah.
And you've been on mission with Loved One, which is, I mean, like, they're doing something amazing there. I'm not saying that's like bad living, but you see how different people in different parts of the world live.
Right.
But then also you can drive 40 minutes from this house and we could see people who are in need.
Yeah.
Do you wish that, or do you long for the American church to kind of wake up and be on more of a mission when it comes to adoption? How's your heart there?
Yeah, I feel like I have surprisingly gotten feisty about this. Like, I didn't expect that out of myself.
Because you're like literally the nicest person.
I was like
so bubbly. I like have this like low aggressive voice that I'm like very intense. And like you're anytime I tell people about you, I'm like, she's my really, really nice friend. Like, she will make you feel so special and loved and like so happy. But I do feel like you've gotten like more like, no, this is like, but you like say it with the most beautiful smile. But like you do like tell us about this passion.
Yeah, I feel like it's just you are exposed to so much injustice throughout all of this and slowness, and part of that is just culture.
Sure.
Like, there's going to be way less urgency on legal matters in Africa than here. And the judge is going to see all these different cases, which happens here too, but those things fire me up because it's a life. And that's where I feel like the church comes into it so much because, there's like so much injustice in the world left and right all the time.
Right.
But if the church and Jesus cares about people and hearts, and this is such a person heart matter and caring about lives, human lives that God created, like, shouldn't that be at the top of the list?
Yeah.
And it's in the Bible, like, care for widows and orphans.
Yeah,
there are orphans. There are, like, in the process that's in place to try to bring those orphans into families, adopt them into families, is messed up, and it's so corrupt. And we need churches, like, just linking arms to fight the fight with those parents who are called to it, which we've really felt that from our church and from our pastor specifically. Like, you know, I send these newsletter updates, and just the fact that he responds is always just so kind, just to know. Like, and we had a situation where we got to hang out with our pastor and just sharing our hearts about this, and he was like, yeah, Beth and I thought we were called to adoption, and then we just kept having more biological kids, and like God called us in a different way. But like hearing his heart for adoption and supporting us meant so much to me, and it's something I wouldn't have seen if we didn't have that one-to-one conversation, because our church isn't outwardly, like, nobody's getting up for announcements and talking about the need of foster families and adoptions and XYZ. And if that's one small thing that we can bring to Midtown Fellowship, which I hope that we do, like, I want that, and I just want more and more of that. So, like, my hope would be that in all church congregations, there's at least one adoptive family that people can point to and look at and learn their story, because it's a story written by God, and it'll captivate you. So
and inspire you.
Yes.
And be a really good picture of like Jesus and God and us being adopted into his family. Like, I mean, it just
truly.
Oh my gosh, it's so much.
Yeah.
Do you Okay. I know we're like needing to wrap up, and we've been I could talk to you for hours about this. I love Frankie and I love the Thompsons, but so Lord, where do you want us to go? I want people to like see your family and like see the process, like God meeting you in the middle of it. I know that there's been quietness. I know that the wait is like long, and I'm so excited to meet her, and I can't wait to see your pictures and all the things. But is there like something that if a family was like, I feel like God's like stirring this in my heart, what would you say to that family?
I'd say take the first step.
Yeah.
And there is a need.
Yeah.
Start to figure out that need.
Yeah.
Because it's not on a billboard for you for good reason. I mean, these are lives that they have to protect too.
Yeah.
But it just takes some work, but like be willing to buckle up, because it's worth it.
Yeah.
We have felt that tenfold. I mean, even like with the initial yes of us wanting to do this, and my lens that I felt like God gave me of like how this will change McLean and Tatum's lives, and my mom and dad and brothers, and simply, you know, everyone in our family for generations to come. Like, the ripple is really big with adoption. And I mean, that's so parallel to us being adopted into the family of God. Like, that ripple is so big.
Yeah.
And it can be kind of as big as you let God use it.
Yeah.
So just don't let fear get in the way.
Yeah.
And just try, maybe.
Yeah. I love it. I love what you guys are doing. Obviously, Adam and I and our kids, like, pray for you and believe in what you guys are doing. I feel like you guys are such a great example of like, we are literally just letting God meet us in the middle of our story and write it out. And I love that your like journey is not like, look at what we're doing and look at what we've done. I think that people, I don't know. I mean, you said like you guys didn't grow up around adoption. I did. Like, I know a lot of people that adopted, and I think that probably in the 90s and early 2000s, it wasn't like, let's prepare you for this. It was kind of like the savior complex of like,
for sure,
everybody go get a kid. And then like things didn't go as well as they could. And there, you know, there's going to be, like you said, like Frankie is going to want to know who her parent, probably you're going to talk to her about it. Like it's such a delicate matter, and you can't love her story out of her. Yeah. Her story is her story. Mm-hmm. You know, like my mom always said, like, I thought that I could like love that rejection out of you, because like I don't have a relationship with my biological father. And she was like, I loved you so much that I thought that like I could just keep pouring love on it. And like And she was like, and then I had to come face to face with like, but that's your story, and like God's going to use it, and I have to be submitted to like the process of it. Mm-hmm. I don't think people in the early 2000s and 90s maybe were like keen and like aware of that.
For sure. Yeah.
And I love that you and Sam are just like, we are going to walk out with the Holy Spirit, like Frankie's story, and fill her love cup overflowing as much as we can, but submitted to like where the Spirit is going to lead her, and trust that He's guiding and loving her. Is there any like word of like knowledge or love that you would have to someone that maybe is like, I don't know, thinking about that, or what does that bring out in you?
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, what you will experience with the Lord of this type of yes, I don't really know another parallel of where you would experience it. So like be ready and open-handed to receive that, because a lot of people told me like, you know, oh, becoming a mom, like you'll see God in a way that you never have because He's the ultimate parent. And like that is so true.
Yeah.
And we had McLean first, and then in this adoption, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm seeing another layer of that because I was adopted into God's family, and I'm seeing what we are marching out and how God did that for me through Jesus. And where my fire and passion gets in all of this, I'm like, yeah, that's how God feels about us.
Yeah.
And that's why He sent Jesus for us. So I think that it's a holy call. Like it feels like a privilege in a lot of ways, but it's so hard. It's just long. I mean, it's like buckle up, which is like, to the best that we could, that's what we knew it would be. Out of hearing all of the stories, we're like, I didn't think I'd have her home in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You know? So, like, yeah, you sign up for a roller coaster, and sometimes that can seem like the ride of your life, and other times you're like, so,
yeah,
that's just part of it.
Yeah. I love you. I love your story. I love your heart. I literally remember us walking into the dance studio, me being like, I want to be friends with her.
And, the greatest.
Yeah. And just watching you like navigate. You were pregnant with Tatum, and our girls were in tiny ballet class. I mean, neither of us danced. No. We were like, what are we doing here?
Right.
But it was
do her hair.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But it was just so special, and I feel like God just crossed our paths at just such a special time, and I just am so honored. I'm honored to be on the newsletter email list. Like, I'm honored to pray for Frankie and cheer on your girls and just cheer you and Sam on. And I hope that just someone who hears this, maybe that's like praying about adoption, like it gives them like a really beautiful view into it that's grounded in truth and reality, but also has like dangerous hope.
Yeah.
Because like that's what we have is like dangerous hope that is in the cross, that is in God's promise, and that is in like God's people, and we are like made in His image. And so I'm just so excited for you guys, and grieving and waiting and hoping with you. And so
real.
I love you, friend.
Love you.